Hi everyone, I'm Airier, and here we're going to be looking at Super Eyepatch Wolf doing his best CoffeeZilla impersonation by going into all the influencer bullshit on YouTube. This is influencer courses are garbage, the dark side of content creation, also known as rubbing in my face all of the stuff the Pauls and the Ace family and just so many other people, including Ninja, have done. And so far, it's been okay, a little creepy. But this is Super Eyepatch Wolf video. I know where it goes from here. It goes to places that are always dark unless they involve wrestling, in which case really awesome. But we're not in wrestling, so it's kind of a foregone conclusion. I'm at the point where my hair is going to be ripping out of my head in frustration. I know what's coming. Yeah. More importantly, you guys know the deal. Link below video. Hit it up. It's Super Eyepatch Wolf. You know it's good, and it's going to torture me, so I probably won't remember later. But do that. Let's get started.
The next step is to dive into your channel's analytics.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this part.
This is all the statistical data that exists in the
It's like all the hard data that no one actually understands.
The idea being that you look at this information to decide what all future videos should be based on what's already worked. This is a bad idea.
Yes, not just because of what he's going to say that burns you out, but also because whatever works up until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, you are going to then be pigeonholed and everything crashes and burns. It's a problem a lot of people run into if they really heavily pay attention to that specific style of content creation.
Don't do it. Something we're going to get into later is the genuinely disastrous effect on a creator's mental health, this kind of numbers-based approach to...
Okay, so they're not just mentioning the burnout. They're okay, he's going into this full on. Oh, and maybe that's one of the interview segments. That, on a personal level, I'm actually very fascinated with because I just want to know how other people deal with that. My version of burnout is I take a week off and it's like, cool, I'm done. I don't care. But other people who are much more dedicated really do care and they get into it and that's a huge thing for them. It's harder to be burned out if you generally don't care about things though. Note to self, be an apathetic asshole. Oh yeah. It doesn't work for everyone, but it works for me.
Content
joking aside, that's
but on a practical level, I also think this approach is going to be really bad for you and your channel long term.
Yep.
All analytics are going to do is squeeze you into smaller and smaller boxes. It's going to make you scared of taking big creative risks that can, at least in my experience, really pay off. I don't know why my videos on wrestling or grappler backy or blood on the tracks have millions of views.
I've seen some of the wrestling ones, but the other two I need to check out still. But yeah, what he's saying right now, it's not even that you don't know, it's that anomalies happen and the analytics would say, well, this isn't what you're doing now, so you should never try it again. Sometimes that's not what happens though. But the analytics will never tell you that.
I know that I wouldn't have done them if I gave a shit about analytics. An analytics-based approach to YouTube is just gonna turn it into this weird gambling game where you're trying to figure out what your best odds for having a viral hit are going to be.
I know he mentioned the channel's like, hey, do this to win. Yeah, you're going to do that, and if it works for you, congratulations, our system worked. And if you're like most people, well, you just didn't do it hard enough. And when it does work, God help you. He's going to go into the mental effects, but...
And there's a bunch of really stupid fucking tools to help you do this. Like vidIQ, which is a app that AI generates you video ideas that might go viral. And look...
This is a year ago before the AI craze really hit overdrive. And they already had that kind of bullshit out there. It's like, hey, here's an idea. One of them might go viral, or it won't. You don't know, but you're paying us either way. I think his face right here of, I'm talking about this because I have to, not because I want to. Yeah, I'm up there. I'm fine with an AI-generated title because I genuinely hate titles to the point where I don't mind if an AI fucks it up. I've seen my own titles. They already look like they're fucked up, just without intelligence, artificial or otherwise. But just coming up with an entire video because, well, the algorithm said we're going to do it this way. I hate everything about what he's saying.
I don't want to sound like a dick here, but...
I will. Please, let me. I will gladly do it.
If you need an AI to tell you what video to make next, I think you really need to consider if you should be making videos at all.
Yeah, the usual answer is, well, this is fun, let's do that. Or you plan it out, you know what your audience likes, and you do something around there, or you just don't care and make what's funny. I know I basically just said the first and the third one the same thing. It's like dodge, dip, dive, and dodge. They're all dodging, but there's a few other words thrown in.
There's other tools as well, like TubeBuddy, which people use to mine the metadata of other people's channels so that they can copy their ideas.
I'll be honest, that's stupid. I use TubeBuddy because it's kind of fun to see like, ooh, cool. My search rankings are up for my own searches. It means functionally nothing, but it's a small hit of serotonin. As long as you actually remember, it is meaningless fun money because it's based on your own queries. So if you do it, that's going to show that you query yourself a lot. So if I try and game this system and just type in my name and hit search, suddenly all of their data, which is based on you allowing it to look at your queries, your searches, suddenly looks like you're really popular. Is it? No, it has absolutely no effect. It's stupid. But it really makes you feel like, wow, things are happening. It's a nice way to wake up in the morning. It's completely stupid, I can't speak today, stupid, self-serving, and indolent. And I frankly love it because it's just that small hit of serotonin that I know is going to work. I know it's stupid. It's a placebo, but it's a really fun placebo.
And I'm dead serious here. A big part of a lot of these courses is just straight up taking other people's ideas, and I'm not like putting words in their mouth or twisting phrases.
Wait, they actually just said
this
that flat out?
This is what they actually say.
What?
I'm going to read these off to you. Number 1, find videos on subjects that you can copy.
Reversing.
They just flat out said copy someone else's videos. Find videos on subjects you can copy. I mean, if you want to see, like, I like this style of presentation, sure. I like how they edit things, sure. That's a valid way. It's in the multiple different professions where you try and figure out what you like seeing and see if you can do it yourself. But the flat out video itself, not just a style, not the content, but the flat out video. Hell, even the people who copy Mr. Beast, frankly, if you can actually succeed at doing that, good for you. I think that's stupid because it's already been done and probably better than anyone else could ever afford. But there's people who do that, and admittedly, most of them are horrible. Some of them are slightly criminal, but we're going to ignore that just because it gets really dark really fast. That's like saying, I'm not going to do a reaction video. I'm going to look at Moist Critical. Wow, considering just wearing that, I'm wearing a white shirt, does kind of seem funny. But I'm going to copy Moist Critical and do a reaction video exactly like him. So I'm just going to go and be a dog. See, I can't even do the accent. I can't do his voice. I'm not even going to try and do his voice. I did, and I failed so horribly, most people didn't realize I was trying for a second there. The white shirts, because I'm lazy, they're cheap, and I have a ton. Also, I think I've had this since I was 12. How the hell is it still in this good shape? But sorry, that's just weird.
Number 1, find videos on subjects that you can copy.
Reverse engineering videos based on the hook they're using, the topic, the genre, ideas that lead to ideas.
Piggybacking other big channels to ethically steal their views and subscribers.
I thought saying you were copying it was the worst. This is going to be a long one.
Backing other big channels to ethically steal their views and subscribers.
That is so many levels of stupid. One, because if a big channel does something, their viewers, who you're trying to steal, are still going to watch that channel because that's what they're there for. If you're doing the exact same thing they're doing, but your own style, your viewers might like your style, but theirs are still going to watch their guy or their girl because that's the person they are there for. If you're making the same content, the dividing line is the person. Unless you're staking everything on just being really fascinating yourself. Also, anyone who stakes everything on them being really fascinating is a narcissistic piece of shit. And almost always, not always, but almost always completely punchable. Like, you shouldn't get in trouble for punching them. It should be somewhere in the law that you should just be allowed to go up to those people and punch them in the face. It would be a perfect world if that was the case. But we don't live in that world. We live in a society that doesn't like randomly punching people in the face. Ugh.
but see what their best videos are, how long are those videos, what do the thumbnails look like, what do the headlines look like.
Okay, the thumbnails actually isn't a bad idea because people do gravitate in certain genres to a style of thumbnail. Like if you want to do a music video with lyrics, but not the full music video, you want just the name on a bland background, maybe the word lyric or the case album, but generally it's just, here's the title, nothing else. People who want that style of video look for that specific style of thumbnail. So if you're not copying it, your video with the same type will not perform because people auto-filter for that style. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying copy the thumbnail, so just make your own version, slide it in. As opposed to look for the style within that genre that you're trying to fit into, which is much more accurate and actually helpful. But this is... the guy flat out said steal shit. I mean, just... There's a term in writing to say, good authors borrow, great authors steal. That's stupid because a great author just does their own thing and it's great because people really want them to be the ones to do it. Sometimes that does imply that the writing itself isn't great, just the author has a great presence. I'm looking at you, Stephen King, Eyes of the Dragon. That thing was a piece of shit, and honestly, the only reason people ever read it is because you wrote it, and frankly, it is insulting that it was printed. I have a visceral hatred for that novel. I know it's a children's book, and I'm going way too hard on this, but I'm standing by that.
You can even hack their channels and see what tags they use on their videos.
Wow. It got worse. I know what he says, hack their channels. He probably doesn't mean that exactly. But maybe he does. And I just... The longer this one runs, the more I'm like, okay, this is why his everything is blurred out. There's no attribution or anything on here. Because he's probably going to get sued.
It's important to see what is working and then for you to follow exactly what's working.
I even found one course that was specifically built around just taking other people's content and monetizing it yourself.
For those of you out there that don't want to record videos, that don't want to record your screen, that don't want to spend the time or might not want to, for whatever reason, create your own piece of content. And
I just need a second. I just need a second. First, the guy looks like someone who's trying to sell Rolexes for $5.99. Specifically, $5.99, and he'll cut you a deal for $3 if you ask him nice. Or if you pull out a knife. And I'm pretty sure most of his clients would have done that. Second, he just repoed someone. Like, there's no other reason that you have this specific type of shelving on these very specific type of plastic shelves, which admittedly are an amazing deal. And if you get them, they're actually quite durable. But also, wow. He looks like someone who would come up and say, hey, so, you didn't pay the full mortgage on that tattoo. I don't know why mortgage is on a tattoo, but you didn't pay it, so I'm going to need that piece of skin back. Everything is just hurting me right now today. This is just pain.
and would prefer to just clip other people's content, this course is perfect for you, right? Because you can monetize other people's content, you can upload them, you can build a channel and audience around the niche or subject matter that you care about.
What the fuck are we doing? So
the worst part is I've seen clip channels that are really innovative because it gets people on one platform who don't have an audience on another to that platform. And a lot of VTubers on Twitch have people doing massive clip channels who just find those like 10, 20, even minute long segments that are absolutely hilarious. And it's a great entry and gateway. But if you're just flat out doing it because like, we're going to make money off this. I feel guilty about that because on the one hand, it can be done as a service. On the other hand, that guy's talking flat out theft. Like, there's no other way to look at that. The guy doing a reaction channel is talking about that. And that's the level of, wow, I just do. There are very few legal precedents when it comes to copyright. Oddly enough, Ethan Klein, I think, is right now 100% of them on YouTube. Because I'm pretty sure there is one that I know about, and that, for all I know, might be the majority of them. Super Eyepatch Wolf, why'd you actually have to research this? This is just hurting. This is pain.
So in summary, the slot machine approach to YouTube is to make as many videos as you can, base those videos on trending topics, twiddle hashtags, titles, and thumbnails, and basing all future content on whatever does or does not work. Keep inserting videos into YouTube until you hit the jackpot.
I mean, admittedly, that's kind of what most people do. But if you're strictly following that without any personal take, it gets so tiring. Like if you're doing a series you don't really enjoy, but then everyone else really loves, that kind of sucks. Thankfully, on my end, I got lucky. I haven't done any reaction series that have been things I don't like. And every now and again, I'll just record a video. It's like, I didn't enjoy this, and I don't put it up. It doesn't happen often, but it has, because I don't want to get trapped into that, and the off chance it does well. And frankly, I don't like being negative in videos outside of Super Eyepatch Wolf, where it's like, I love the video for how much I'm just in pain. Yeah, the more I talk about it, the more it does sound like a mental disorder.
That may work, but will in all likelihood result in you making the same bullshitty content as 1,000 other people. And not only have
Without
I
any personal
never
style or
met
flair.
a creator who achieved long-term success by taking these courses and performing this method, I've never met a single one who even thought it sounded like a good idea.
I disagree with the idea of like, if you try and mechanize this and like turn it into a job, it will make you crazy because it doesn't work like that.
Admittedly, I've seen these mics. I am so jealous of these mics. I am, ooh, that's a nice mic. I know I'm having mic envy and considering where it's at. That's, his mic's longer than mine. It was going to be said. I might as well just get it out there.
That the algorithm is unfair, people's tastes are strange. You can't trust it.
And random chance.
Trying to turn it into something you can win is just a recipe for being extremely depressed and disappointed in yourself. You'll feel like you.
I mean, I'm so tiny by comparison to anyone who has serious numbers. And even I can say it is depressing when you start basing all your decisions on it. There's times where you just don't look at the video. I might check out comments because every now and again, people actually have really good ones. But that's the weird part about YouTube. Sometimes that does happen. It gets depressing if you get into the numbers, man. It gets really depressing.
You failed.
And the ways that you will be forced to think about your content are
folding ideas. Ooh, he has the Avatar on PS3? Oh, that is a lot of PS3 games. Ooh. I almost want to examine his... Is that Korn? Is that Walter White in a Korn costume? Or is that him in a Korn costume? I have no idea, but I must get the answer.
are maybe ways that you are not going to be satisfied with. Because if all you care about is success, then you're going to end up allowing the movements of the algorithm, the movements of the market, like what people are responding to, you are going to allow that to dictate what you're making, why you're making it, the format that you're making it in, the language that you're using to make it, and you will end up spending all of your time just chasing response metrics.
Also, this is the part they haven't brought up. The response metrics you get are based on now extended to 7 days, sometimes down to 48 hours, and even the 24-second marks. It's very short term. Speaking on personal, sometimes a video sucks because it looks like, oh, hey, 50 people watched it. 50 people watched it the next hour, which is not bad, but for YouTube numbers, that's absolute shit. And then randomly 3 months from now, you look back, it has been consistently getting views and it's doing great. And suddenly someone shares it and there's a spike and it just keeps doing the same amount. So it goes and it goes and it goes. And a year later, the video has 20,000 views. And while that's still not huge for a channel that averages 1,000 views, you're just sitting here going like, whoa, what the fuck happened? Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But long-term is almost completely unaccounted in this style of just throwing content out. So people just don't see shit. And that's including the people making it, because you don't really look that far out in time. You look at what you've done to the 60-minute, to the 48, and sometimes the week, maybe the month. But even then, that's only a few times. It doesn't really help much. The metrics are designed for short-term because it's get it out, get it out, get it out. And it's reinforced that way, even though sometimes the algorithm does actually reward thoughtful content that might not do great, but just does good enough to keep doing good enough. It is really hard to predict that. And just basing everything on the short term burns you out, man.
I guess, I mean, I don't want to sound too harsh.
I thought that was a manatee at first, and I realized that's a giant plush spider in a hat. Wow. It has beady eyes and little small eyes. It only has 6, though. Isn't it short, too? Might be more up here. And it has plush fangs. It's cute. But if I woke up to that in my room, I would die. Like, just flat out dead. Nothing else. Wow.
I'm sure there are well-meaning people who have made these courses, but just based on like
Desperate
the quality of
people
the
more like
advice
it.
they give and how general and unhelpful I find it, it does genuinely seem like a big scam.
Yes.
It's an incalculably complex problem to create a YouTube video that I'm not even gonna say, oh, it's the algorithm, because if your videos aren't good, it's not, the algorithm's not gonna work really. I mean, what I mean is it's an incalculably complicated problem how to make videos that are good in the first place. Leaving us.
And since good is subjective, it depends on your audience more than anything else. And if you just happen to click with them right away, it looks like you did great. Maybe you're not, and you just happen to find the right people. That is a weird thing that happens. So yeah, it's really freaking complex.
Decide what will get traffic on YouTube.
And again, this is all without getting into the genuinely devastating effect this approach can have on a content creator's mental health, which we're getting to. But for now,
that's gonna be a
I want to ask
really
a
rough
different
portion.
question. Does this stuff actually work?
I'm going to call it now. The answer is maybe. It's not bad advice. It's just really general to the point of useless.
And that is an answer I got not by looking at these courses, but by looking at the people running them. One hot summer afternoon, I sat down to take the 7 YouTube Musts Master Course, which was a module in the financial freedom movement. It was
The what? Also, they all look like they're in such weird-ass houses that are so completely staged. Honestly, there's enough shit in mine. You can tell I don't stage shit. Also, because I have removed a bunch of models that I probably should remember where I put them. Hope I didn't leave them somewhere. Nah, that sucks.
Master Course, which was a module in the financial freedom movement. It was the exact same slot machine approach I'd seen
Financial
in several
freedom
other
movement?
courses, and after sitting there for long enough, I became curious.
What?
Who was this man? How successful had these techniques?
Oh, so it's kind of like thinking about someone who wrote a book about become a millionaire. I can't speak to it. Millionaire. There's the word. Instantly. And then the person writing it is still working at McDonald's. Like, oh. So it really was a scam, because if it worked, you'd have done it. That actually does make a lot of sense. Also, power to the guy who works at McDonald's and still finds a way to write a book as much bullshit as that. That is way more energy than I could ever have. And frankly, while I would also hate you for scamming people, I would respect you for getting to the point where you could actually think enough after getting off work to do that. Kudos to you, you magnificent asshole. Magnificent. Well, I cannot speak today at all.
Been for him, and so I did a little digging. I located his YouTube channel linked
Oh, they
to
actually
his
had it up
official
still?
website, and discovered that he had
10.
4,000 subscribers.
The fuck?
4,000 subscribers. I had just sat.
You probably paid money for a masterclass to listen to a guy talking about how you can make videos that everybody loves. Just trick them into thinking you've already succeeded and pay money up front by getting a masterclass. I don't even... If he made it himself, it's a scam. If someone else hired him, okay, maybe they made a choice. But I mean, I say I'm a small channel, and I'm just looking at this going, when I was that small, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Admittedly, nothing ever changed, but I'm still aware of that. I'm not saying, here's all the solutions.
Through a multi-hour lecture on how to
multi-hour? Okay, that was a pain I wasn't expecting today.
Succeed on YouTube from a man who has never succeeded on YouTube. He actually has a pretty substantial following on Twitter, and the fact that he still can't pull
Twitter means nothing. There's an entire game you play where you follow people, they follow back, and then unfollow the people who don't follow you, and just keep doing it repeat until it eventually looks like you have a ton of followers. I got brought in as an intern to a very small publishing company that went under for obvious reasons. And that's how they ran Twitter, because fuck it. There's even tools for that. Devices or software programs, all that kind of stuff online where it'll automatically unfollow and then you just follow more people and they follow back you. So it makes you look huge. It's why one of the biggest ways to see, is this a real account? Look at the ratio of people they follow versus people who are following them. It's just stupid. Having a huge number for someone who's already playing a game means nothing. Show me how many people are his followed accounts after this. If it's even in the 100,000 range, you can tell it's meaningless.
Numbers on YouTube with a following like that should tell you how successful his techniques are. They aren't. I want to stop here and say...
I mean, my Twitter followers were like 2,000 because I just randomly picked up people I thought were interesting, and then I realized I don't care about their content and unfollowed them. When I was trying to write more, I was like, oh, what are you writing about? I was really curious in school. And then I realized I'm sick of hearing about people talking about their pitches. It got very boring very fast, and then they just never unfollowed me. And so I was like, oh, like, I guess they're just getting random tweets about, saw a cat. Actually, that might be why I did a lot of stupid tweets like that.
I don't think it's ever okay to dismiss someone's opinion based on how many online followers they have.
I would like to make an addendum. I think it's fine to base someone's opinion based on representing themselves as a millionaire or a billionaire when they don't have the receipts to back it up. I'm fine with that one. Also, when generally someone's online, I automatically discount what they say until proved otherwise, and usually it's unfortunately accurate.
Unless that person is teaching you how to get online followers. And I found so many examples of this. And I want to be a bit careful here because
The secret how to get 10 million subscribers in a year. New video, 1 day ago, 3 views. Yeah.
Enjoy picking on smaller channels, but you could see it even in larger ones. Channels like vidIQ or Rocky Ula's, who, in fairness, both have built large followings of...
vidIQ is hit and miss. Sometimes their information's really interesting. A lot of the times, I found that it was super general, and I just went to them when I didn't want to bother listening to a how-to course of, okay, what do you do? Do you need a camera? How do you start? Literally, that's the level I ever went to their channel on. It's, I don't know what I'm doing. Do I need to plug a camera in? Admittedly, they didn't have the answer to that. I went to a different video and actually showed me, and I figured that out because I didn't know what the cable was to plug camera into. Well, that was. Turned out the camcorder I was using doesn't have one, and it was a wasted purchase. That was on me. That was a mistake. Yeah, but they didn't have that interesting information. That's a depressing memory. I had it repressed, and now that's on me for remembering it. Yeah.
Over 1 million subs, but even with that following, vidIQ has only had 1 video in the last 40 that broke 100k views, and Rocky's channel, I Love Basketball TV, hasn't had one in over 50. And I have to...
Wait, seriously? I mean, my views are like that, but that's just because I go all over the place and I do exactly what the algorithm hates and just doing steady things that are very repetitive that they don't like to start with. I just do it because it's fun. I mean, these numbers look good for me. If I saw these numbers on my channel, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's nice. They're a much bigger channel than I am. Wow.
The question,
they're also shorts,
does that
though.
make them the experts in getting views that they claim
Branding.
to be? Just to say, I don't agree with what these guys do. Please don't harass them or anyone else to talk about this video. That's not what this is about. Or
never worth it.
Just complete bonkers insanity like this other video I found on this other channel called How to Beat the YouTube Algorithm to...
I'm assuming the way to beat it is be rich, pay for ad views. I tried it once to see what it was like. $100 for 10. And it was like 1,000 views, but each view was maybe 40 seconds long. I honestly was curious after seeing a Spiffing Brit video. Yeah, he was stupid. Never did it again.
To gain 1M plus subscribers, bracket, how to
Nope.
get subscribers, close bracket. And the thumbnail... Sorry.
I mean, it's a stupid thumbnail, but I'm fully aware it's better than anything I make. I hate graphic design. Some people have it as their passion. For me, it's my white whale. It is out there, and it will most likely kill me after I've devolved into madness and made everyone hate me for the insanity that I've become an incarnation of. Amelia, that sounds like a joke, but no, frankly, it's exactly how I treat anything to do with content creation when it comes to thumbnails. I didn't... No.
And the thumbnail shows someone getting 1 million subscribers in 1 month, and the guy being like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And after 10 days, this video had 7,000 views, and just...
I mean, admittedly, for something that obviously fake, that's probably more than it should have got.
I mean, clearly this doesn't work. Because it doesn't. It hasn't. I mean, come on, this is...
Admittedly, just giving a little credit here. 69, funny number. Haha. That's as much as I'm going to give them. They got lucky, punk.
This is insane. This is nonsense. This is clearly nonsense. Oh, okay. Hang on, just... Okay, look, I just really have to get this out. Because I've kind of been staring at this shit for a while. And I feel like...
How many days was this in when he did this?
But, what are we doing? This person does not have 1 million...
I'm sorry, that was 69,000 for someone who had 250,000 subscribers. Okay, that's different. I thought it was someone around my size, maybe smaller, because that's the kind of thing that, like, it's clickbait. It's exactly what someone wants. So they're going to say, how do I algorithm? And it'll probably show them this because it has the title in there. She basically typed it already. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it doesn't. It depends on what happens on the search. I have no idea how that works. But that's 250,000 subscribers. He probably paid for it before YouTube caught him. I wonder if the channel's still around. I'm not going to type it in, though, to make YouTube think I want more of his videos, though. That would be a trap. Oh, wow, that is,
million subscribers! This person does not get a lot of views, and somehow I've seen people be like, yeah, this guy really knows what he's talking about. No, he doesn't! We can see that!
Yeah.
We can, the numbers, they're not the same number. This is literally like me standing in front of you and saying, hello, I'm a tiger.
You know, let's be completely fair here and give him some credit. There are people out there, if Super Eyepatch Wolf went up to them and said, I'm a tiger, and they would just say, meow. And you know exactly who you are, Frank. You know.
You can see that I'm not a tiger. That would be a ludicrous statement to make. But that's what these people are doing. And we can
and
see
people watch it and they
it's not
believe
real. We can see that with our eyes.
There is a phrase here. Don't believe your lying eyes. As stupid as that sounds, it actually explains a lot, because wanting to believe something is much more powerful than actual proof slapping you in the face with the reality showing, no, you dumb son of a bitch, it's not real. As opposed to, well, maybe I just haven't tried hard enough. I could try more. It's the psychic video all over again, and I don't even... It's not as bad, but it's the same disconnect from reality empowers everything type mentality.
If these courses worked, then why don't they work?
Yep. Back to wrestling now. Tiger Mask singing. Oh, that guy was actually singing the entire time in the background? Damn. Not a bad voice.
At this point, I could feel my grip on reality slipping.
Oh, nice for him. I lost mine years ago.
My focus on this video wavering. I could keep pursuing this community of clownish buffoons make-believing their way to success, or I could do the opposite.
What?
I could try and find the biggest, most well-regarded social media influencer course available and experience it.
Oh, did he actually sign up for one that wasn't immediately canceled? 85 million views, less than 12 months. Edit on. Strategy repelled. Oh no.
Myself. That's exactly what I did.
Oh no.
Graham Stephan is the #1
Who?
YouTuber in the personal finance.
Graham Stephan? What? My response to PewDiePie 9 months ago? Kevin O'Leary reacts to my $10 million investment? What? The $0 helm? I mean, admittedly, there's places in Italy that are like that. It's just you also come with a commitment to improve it after so much money is invested. So while it might not cost anything, you know, you have to put money into it and then live there and keep it up to spec as they deem. And that's why most people don't take it, because it's very hard. Is this just the guy scamming people by playing up here that he's rich when he's really not, and it's all a scam to until people believe he's real? I mean, on the other hand, he has a lot of views, so at least it's not as bad as the last one. I've never heard of this guy, though. I really don't know who this is.
Niche. Graham reveals all of his secrets in his YouTube course.
But I think Graham's course is incredible, has some awesome insider information, and it's totally worth the investment.
There are a lot of people.
Okay, can we just go back and just say, why did you record a promo? Like, why? Why, man? It's not like I've ever recorded a video with a massive zit I didn't know about, but still, that looks like it would hurt. On the other hand, the shame of having to make something that feels like a hostage video is probably right on par with that.
Has some awesome insider information, and it's totally worth the investment.
Is the insider information, be born rich, don't worry about the rest? In which case, okay, that would technically be completely accurate, but still, man.
A lot of people selling courses that are actually not making money with the method that they're teaching.
Please tell me this one is a fake. Just Super Eyepatch will splice it in because it's funny. Also, what is wrong with your flag? Like, legitimately, this is just wrong. Was it supposed to go through the flagpole? Like, was it supposed to give it a wraparound or something? What is... No.
Teaching. Graham Stephan is very different. I think he's very effective.
Wow, I didn't realize the mental disconnect on that one would change so fast, so it definitely wasn't a joke Super Eyepatch Wolf put in. Oh.
People who are brand new to YouTube will get a huge jump start by taking this course, and they will save a lot.
Okay, first off, ew, Apple. 2, you have cardboard walls, you have the small foam, but admittedly still foam on the walls, but then you have exposed metal ceiling. No, I ain't good at audio because admittedly I rely on a mic that just happened to be incredibly powerful that I got through sheer accident and worked out. But you're doing music here. You have big speakers. You have Apple products, so admittedly money doesn't really matter to you. But you have a cardboard-sided wall with regular foam just on it, not in the corners where the reverb or the vibrations would become the most distorted and come back at you. And then an open ceiling. I don't even... There is a lot going on here.
A lot of time just from taking this course.
When I tell you every bit of the 8 hours that is offered is super valuable, like there's no exaggeration.
Okay, 1, your audio is super echoey. Granted, Super Eyepatch Wolf does that too because it just is his style. 2, you have a giant-ass TV with a brick wall pattern in the background. I know some people do this. I still don't get it. Except for like TV anchors during the pandemic because they didn't have graphics, so they just put up a picture that was shown on their phone and they could just put it on their TV. Which admittedly actually looked pretty cool. I like the style then. But something about this, it's probably all the yellow. Yeah, it's definitely all the yellow. It's not like I've ever done that, and I have replaced trauma at how horrible some of my tech issues were for years. Yeah, I'm going to ignore this entire sentiment. It's actually hurting even more. Like every piece of this so far.
That there's just so much time that's been put into this man's brain.
Graham Steph.
Okay. There has been time put into this man's brain. How is it this video isn't nearly as disturbing as the psychics? It's not nearly as what the fuck inducing as Garfield. But I'm just sitting over here just feeling shame. It's not secondhand shame for other people. I don't think they feel shame. I'm just ashamed at tangentially having anything in common with these people because this is YouTube right now. The fact that you're watching this and having to experience it through me makes me feel ashamed to show parts of this. And then just feel shame on top of it, looping back to say, hey, we have something in common. I don't want to say that. I don't want to finish the thought process. If it's that bad for me, Super Eyepatch Wolf would have been really fucked in the head by the end of this, is what I would say if I hadn't seen his other videos.
Has 3.8 million followers, hundreds of thousands of views a video.
Did he literally just do the entire bullshit where... Yeah, he did. He's doing the entire thing. I'm in my office with my insert random expensive car in the background. It's not flexing. It's reminding you of your place, peon. Probably rented and probably a set.
8 million followers, hundreds of thousands of views a video.
He even has the car as his image. I don't even... Ugh.
And even recently competed in the Creator Clash, which honestly, nothing but respect for that.
Oh, yeah,
he's also the person behind the YouTube Creator Academy, an 8-hour course that claims to teach people.
Wait, I've heard of the Creator Academy. That's the bullshit thing YouTube always pushes in their media emails. Oh, God, I'm suddenly feeling much better about deleting this.
How to grow an audience from 0 to 100,000 and earn 6-figure income.
Okay, 1, no. 2, if you have an audience of views, 2,000 followers, and $300,000 per month. So if you have 2 million YouTube subscribers, oh, this is his income. I just, even if it works for this guy, this seems like such a scam.
On the surface, the YouTube Creator Academy seems exciting. Its title page advertises techniques that lead to explosive organic follower growth.
See, those, as soon as someone says explosive organic growth, this might just be me, but I hear business bullshit for people who don't actually know what they're talking about, who have never actually done this, but have come up with the buzzwords to make it sound exciting in marketing and testing. And the most annoying part is people don't actually listen to them unless they use the bullshit buzzwords because they assume buzzwords that don't make sense to them, but other people are very passionate about to be real things they're just not aware of. Because every now and again, it's real, but a lot of the times, it's just the equivalent of empty hype. I'm projecting a bit. The problem is only a bit. I looked into all these when I started up YouTube, but it was little things like, hey, what kind of camera do you need? What are the physical dimensions? How do you move things on OBS? There's videos for that. These were everywhere, and none of them were worth anything. Also, I think I might be confusing vidIQ earlier with something else, and honestly, I just cannot place it. There was a different thing. Whatever.
As well as hacks to double, even triple your ad revenue. And the thing is, he did have insane success. He did go from 0 subscribers to ludicrous YouTube fame, and in a very short period.
I mean, if you come on and you just flash money and you make a decently interesting video about, hey, here's what looking rich looks like, and you can get there too. It's a very interesting style of aspirational in the same way that people look at I can't speak today. Look at videos like Cribs. That's a TV show. The TV show Cribs, like, whoa, look at all this crazy stuff. and I can have it too. It's just those two things of, this is insane and well of your ability to ever get, followed by, and you could have it too, so it's aspirational. I don't trust a word here.
Both in followers and profits. And he backs that up not only with his own analytics, but testimonials from other successful YouTubers.
Oh, did I say full refund? As a show of good faith, I'll issue a full refund, no questions asked, if you request it within 30 days of purchase. And if this course goes longer than 30 days, I don't know how long it is. I'm so confident you'll enjoy it. But even if you don't, there's zero risk to you. Just don't abuse this to get a free course. It's on the honor system, so there's no reason not to try it out for yourself. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this isn't all a scam, but my interior... Okay, admittedly, in this port, it's literally desire to throw up on the mic out of just sheer exhaustion, which apparently is a way you can do it, and it's very uncomfortable, is telling me this is a scam. Everything about this sounds like a scam.
Successful YouTubers, the highest of which now has over 1 million subscribers, which is hard to argue with, even if I disagree with this person's description of YouTube life.
This is something that I've been dreaming of for literally forever, and and let me tell you guys something, the YouTube life is literally everything people say it is. I wake up at 11 a.m. every day, I edit for a few decent hours depending on the day, and then I have the rest of the day to do whatever I want.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Jake.
Yeah, even I don't do that, and my channel is infinitely smaller. One, I can't get up that late. I've tried. Even when I'm sick, the latest I could sleep in it was 10. Two, you edit for a few hours. I mean, admittedly, my videos are very much in person, like just going through it and subjecting people to my madness. There's probably going to be someone in the comment going like, haha, this time period. Exactly. And probably someone quoting a Cthulhu line at that point, but yeah, that would be too much to ask for. If someone does, I will leave a like on that. That'd be awesome. I'd appreciate it, and it would just distract me from this and how much it hurts. But just...
And a major reason why I'm here today is because of this course and being inspired by Graham in general.
And on top of all this, I was able to find 16 different channels, all with videos that had just these glowing reviews on how much Graham's course had helped them, and this was only the first page of search results. And I gotta say, even to my cynical brain, this was all really enticing. I too
am I just more cynical than Super Eyepatch Wolf? That's doubtful. I've seen the shit he's gone through. He's probably way more jaded. I mean, this was only a year ago. No, never mind. There's no way that affects it. What I would really be interested in seeing is check out all those people who followed his advice and just look at their course of, hey, here's their videos, and then let's see where they drop off in burnout. Because that's what we haven't covered yet is burnout, and that's probably what's going to be coming up next.
Think that explosive, organic follower growth would be nice.
Also, the numbers are kind of skewed here when you really look at it. It's like 5 digits, which admittedly is huge. Then 200, 240, 300, 400, then dropping again, and it's down to even lower than it started. That's still a lot, but that's a really weird growth pattern.
I too want to double or triple my income, and all
Oh, daily average, I thought it was the monthly.
that knowledge would cost me is $488.
Oh, that's why everyone succeeds who takes this, because you can only throw that much money to learn tricks on YouTube if you've been successful enough either on YouTube or somewhere else to already afford it. It's the only people who don't need this tax apply. If this was free, if this was $1, if this was $10, $20, this would be so horrible. You're already a professional if this is a business expense that you're willing to take. I didn't spend that much on my mic. Admittedly, this was actually a really good deal, and it was like $120. I'm 200, 230. Too much money, but it worked great. And I would not spend it on just listening to some other guy talk. Also, because it's YouTube, you can find that for free.
Please understand, at this point, I had already spent hundreds of dollars taking courses for this video, $488.
I just realized, and I hate myself for this, my entire thought process, what I was going to say out loud, and I subjected myself to even thinking it was, wow, the polls weren't this bad. They were downright a steal for admittedly stupid information, but a couple helpful things at the beginning. It was like, there was an entire decimal, but like, there were less digits. I hate myself for saying nice things even in my own head about the polls. That's just...
This is a massive amount of money to me, but even on this concern, Graham had an assurance in place.
What?
As a show of good faith, I'll issue a full refund, no questions asked, if you request it in 30 days of purchase.
So in other words, if it's a 30-day course and you purchase it, then you're out of luck unless you get to day 29, and they just happen to get to the email on time.
I'm so confident that you'll enjoy it, but in the event you don't, there's zero risk to you. Just don't abuse this to get a free course. It's on the honor system. So
sure.
There's no reason not to try it out and see for yourself. And so I decided I would take Graham's course. If I felt it was a good investment, then I could use it as an actual example of what a good one of these courses looked like.
But this is a Super Eyepatch Wolf video, and we hear that slightly ominous music in the background telling us the emotional tone right here is fuck no.
And if I didn't, I could just get my money back. Right? Right? Right?
Yeah.
There were genuinely good parts to Graham's course. If you don't know anything about editing or camera equipment, it does a great job of breaking down that information in a way that's going to be digestible to anyone. He also...
See, that is actually amazing. That would be the nitty-gritty technical side that I find absolutely fascinating, and still can't justify more than $480 for that when there's literally just camera channels that go into that in excessive detail. And admittedly, they're really fascinating too. I found a lot of cool tech channels that way.
There's a great section on dealing with criticism and hate online in a constructive, healthy way.
Criticism, sure. Hate, block it, move on. It's not worth the headspace. But also, I'm not a channel that actually cares too much. There's people whose opinion I care about, and that's only a few people. Sometimes people online make a really good point, and they earn my interest, and I'm like, oh, I will consider that, even if I might not agree with you. That's cool. Most people start from the level of, I do not care. Admittedly, there's actually been a lot of people who made really good points that I've actually tried to incorporate, because like sometimes what they say is fascinating. Even if I don't agree with them, it's just kind of cool to see how people actually make good arguments. I realize everything I just said is weird for YouTube and the internet. It still freaks me out, okay? I am well aware of that. That's an anomaly. I don't get it either. It's not normal.
Which no other YouTube course I took did. That's probably because most of them weren't YouTubers. But anyway, there's also some...
Also, again, I'm just going to come back to the point of, at that price range, you've already succeeded. So this might also just be useless information, because you'd already have the money, which would have had to come either from professional success elsewhere, or you've succeeded on YouTube at the point where you could afford that. So it doesn't really make sense.
Some okay advice about telling a story and having a strong hook and tips around post times, etc. But it is...
Yeah, post times is kind of stupid. Just go whenever your audience is on. That actually is analytics. It's kind of useful. But even then, the general one is, if no one is online, do not post it. If enough people are online, it'll do fine. That's it. That's literally the extent of it. I only know this because I've accidentally put videos out at midnight. And a few live streams where I intentionally did 12 hours at midnight. And the videos did, for the size of my channel... Okay, that's actually not good phrasing, because for the size of my channel, nothing would have been a good view amount. And so anyone watching was decent. It was also a number of years ago, and my channel was much smaller. So no, that's still fair, because literally no one should have watched, and people did at midnight. Constantly. One, why? I wasn't even awake for my own video. Although apparently I did progress the story of Horizon Zero Dawn, so I can't really say I wasn't awake. I don't really know what was going on. I think I just blocked it all out. Title, attention, short, wide audience. except for the people who have really long titles that have information loaded into them. I do it sometimes because I find it funny and I just want to make it a joke that's incredibly stupid. And you only get the first half of it, and when you click on it, you realize incredibly stupid things have been said. It's stupid. It doesn't help. I do it because I find it funny. Thumbnail eye-catching. Okay, he was giving them credit there. That's, yeah. Ask engagement retention. I hate that so much. Mostly because of coming from an English major background where asking a person a question is stupid. But in a YouTube video, asking a person a question is a way to make them want to comment, which is another point of engagement. And the more they engage with you, the more they might even come back and let the video play while they write a comment again, other than like going through an app to respond to people, which some people do. It's weird. I even forget I can do that. Basic content. Post often. Except for the people who don't and only post whenever they feel like it and their videos are bangers. But that's something completely different. This is... And again, I go back to the music thumbnails about here's the lyric video that are not eye-catching in the slightest, but it fits the tone of the category you're trying to fit into. It shouldn't even be eye-catching. It should be make your own take on what people in this audience immediately gravitate towards to identify the content they like before making a selection. But that's not nearly as clickbaitable a title, so yeah.
It is all very general, and unfortunately...
Useless?
This is where my praise of this course ends.
Oh, so that was all the good stuff. So that $480 plus was good for probably the equivalent of a YouTube help page. Admittedly, the technical stuff would have been really fascinating, but I mean, I'd cap out at $10 on that because you then have to pay the money for the technical stuff.
To get my surface level criticisms out of the way, while there is good technical advice in this course, a lot of the information here is years out of date. And I know that because anytime Graham talks about his own YouTube channel, it shows a sub count of around 300,000. Today...
Damn, that is actually a significant growth. But also showing that his increasingly huge amount of wealth is the driver here. It's just to see how someone rich does things.
Hey, Graham has nearly 4 million
or
subscribers.
Visible
and
richness.
At a Social Blade, the last time he had 300,000 was in late 2018, early 2019. So, unless some of these sections of this course have been updated in a way that I could not tell, the majority of information here is already 3 years old, which is an eternity on any platform, but
how it works, A/B testing. Oh, he's literally just going into see what works, what has bigger views versus click-through. I mean, technically, that's kind of how YouTube works. You just try and find out what has the best return on views to conversion into viewership versus how long that viewership is. Having a huge eyes and huge views, but everyone watches 10 seconds is terrible. But if you got 1,000 views and say 900 people clicked in and then watched an hour of a video, 1, that is ridiculous. 2, that is super ridiculous. 3, that would be the holy grail of return on viewership to see who gets something that is watched. That is not humanly possible. Unless YouTube literally forced everyone to watch it. Some like how they used to put I think it was Red Hot Chili, no. Rolling Stone album on everyone's iPhone or something, a number of, like a decade? Oh God, it was probably a decade ago now. Oh, I feel so old.
Especially YouTube. Not only does this mean that the course has nothing on major new features like community posts or YouTube Shorts.
I mean, if you want to do that, just check out Spiffing Bread. He's always on top of it, and frankly, he does break the system. He finds flaws in ways that are probably going to become against terms of service when they update it to account for what he does. Yeah, don't replicate what he does. You can try. By the time anyone sees it, it's probably already patched. That's the word.
A lot of the information here is either now incorrect, like stating that the standard screen size is 1280 by 720, or at least massively questionable in 2022. Like,
oh yeah, I gotta love those 7 to 15 minute videos. I mean, there's people who I watch who do those lengths, and They're fine. They've been doing it for a long time. They just got into the habit, and that's what they like doing. Yep. That is a thing.
Recommending videos be no longer than 20 minutes. In the last couple of years, there's been a huge rise.
Folding ideas. Lines go up. The problem with NFTs. If someone pitches you a great Web3 project, ask them if it requires probably NFTs. That is a very good point. Also, yeah, that is a bit longer than 20 minutes. Yeah.
Is in much longer, more in-depth style videos. And that's because both...
Ooh, there's a Witcher critique? Unironically, this actually looks interesting to me. I won't react to it. I just want to watch that.
YouTube as a platform, as well as audience expectation, has evolved. And what I find really strange about this is that this is something Graham has criticized traditional education for when covering online content.
By the time they end up crafting a curriculum around what works, the techniques have already changed, and it's really difficult to be at the forefront of anything digital.
And as for the...
I applaud you, Super Eyepatch Wolf, on not immediately going pot, meet kettle, or making some joke about how he is really dating himself by saying that you can't stay on the forefront. You gotta make sure to do it because the style has changed, because YouTube is now trying to prioritize keeping people on longer videos if they show the interest, and they'll show that. By the time anyone sees this, that might have changed. Hell, it might have already changed. I just didn't notice. Admittedly, I make weird videos that are super long because it is amusing to me, so I'm not the right person to ask about this. I don't think I can make a 5-minute video anymore to save my life. Hell, I ramble way too much. Admittedly, that's also why I make these videos. It's a fun way to vent and to ramble, because literally, can you imagine me doing this in person? I do this in person. People walk away. People who should not walk away. Like, I go to a bank teller and suddenly they just decide that it's their break, walks away. It happened once, but I'm just going to assume there was like some kind of immediate medical issue they had to take care of, and I'm going to pretend that is the case. Thank you. Please don't call me on this one.
Actual information on how to grow your channel, this for me was the most disappointing part.
Now, what you should aim for, ideally, aim for this 2 times to 3 times a week. The YouTube algorithm.
Really? Only 2 to 3 times a week? I mean, that's not a lot. That actually seems weird, because like if you're going to go every day, there's a steady sense of repetition to always get something into, so people know to come back over and over. So there's always something to it, which in its own right is powerful. And then there's like the longer breaks where it becomes, here's the thing of something you look forward to when it could be all over the place and when they do it. And then there's the more sporadic ones of like, hey, we're just going to throw it out, or like even spread out. Like we're going to do it every week, every month, every couple weeks. But that's still going into the sporadic. Here's going to be a banger. I'm putting all my basket in this one. Not just the eggs. I'm putting multiple baskets and they all have their own eggs in it, and it's going to slap. I've been told that's the thing the new kids say. Am I old enough to get away with saying the kids told me this? I don't know, but I want to be a crotchety old man, damn it.
I'm trying to figure out what works and how to game the system. All right, guys, so let's get into the really good stuff. These are the ninja SEO techniques in the sense of picking a good title, having a good...
Ninja SEO? This is old enough where I'm not even sure he's referencing Ninja, I was going to say VTuber, wow. The gamer, or is he just saying ninja as in the guys in Japan? Oh, that is
thumbnail,
weird.
Description, and tags. I will ask for engagement. Look at other people who are in your niche and see what they're posting. And I look at their channels and then I sort by most popular. Now, this is good for 2 reasons.
Yeah, that's... No. Like, I could see a reason to do that. If you know a guy has similar taste to you, and you see they've done a bunch of videos and they seem to enjoy it, and then you haven't seen it yet, so you don't know where you're getting into, and you react to something they've reacted to, I guess that makes sense. But in general, if you're just doing because, hey, it was popular for them, it's popular for me, that's... One, all the previous content about, like, we're going to flat out steal the content. Also, 2... a lot of that could have been, did they react to something that was incredibly hot at that moment? Is coming to it later going to make it worthless? Is the topic they were covering no longer relevant? Or has it become a really taboo thing that they won't talk about anymore? Because, I mean, can you imagine talking about something that if you just came out a week or a year later, it would be unfortunate? Let's put it this way. If you can think of an answer, I'm not going to say it out loud. One, because you thought about it, and that'd be really creepy, because I also fish. But more importantly, if I actually knew those answers right off the top of my head, they would probably be blocked by YouTube's more policy-driven, you don't talk about this issues. Which, for obvious reasons, we're not going to talk about. Seriously, though. It's like going to PewDiePie and typing in most popular and thinking his channel is defined by songs. And lasagna. He's a cooking channel! That is not going to help.
Reasons. One, when you sort by most popular, it's going to give you great ideas that they came up with.
In other words, the methodology laid out by Graham's course was, in my opinion, near identical to the slot machine approach to YouTube we've already talked about.
Also, if you look at his videos, it's all based on aspirational wealth. Am I the only one thinking that?
That I really don't see working for most people. But there was also information here that I just found flat out bad, like buying views and subscribers.
Now let's go from buying...
The fuck? No, this is where I'm calling it. One, I think buying subs is actually against terms of service. Like, legitimately, I'm pretty sure you lose your channel for doing that shit. No, I'm at my limit, man. This is my limit. Oh, God. Wow. So, according to a guy with multiple millions of subscribers, the best way to get big on YouTube is to literally do something that could cost you your entire channel. Don't worry, you want to get to 1 million subscribers? Buy them. Are they fake? Is it against terms of service? Is this possibly something that if you start faking views and faking watch time and faking subscribers, because that is exactly going to happen, is that going to help you? One, no, because subscribers don't mean anything. It's just letting people know as like almost a Pavlovian response to look down, see big number and think, ooh, they know what they're talking about, to give more credibility. But it doesn't matter, because if they go to the video and it sucks, they're immediately going to punch away from it. And I don't just mean click away. I mean, they're going to punch that button as hard as I can to get the fuck away. I don't even... If buying subscribers are we here, the next sentence is going to be buying views. And if it's buying views, you're buying watch time now, but this is probably prior to that, so that would be how we got there. It's literally saying, fake it till you make it, also commit crime. How do you get rich? Rob a bank. Yeah, I'm done for tonight. This is as far as I just can't, man. I just can't. If you guys like this, down below, link to Super Eyepatch Wolf's video. Hit it up. He's doing an awesome job, and if he wasn't really good at pulling together these deep dives out, I probably wouldn't feel nearly as just enraged as I do right now. That'd be nice right now, not being enraged. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one when I see just how much more I can stomach. I'm doing this to myself willingly. I keep saying it. I keep questioning my sanity. Unfortunately, the answer is you have none. I'm aware. Yeah. See you guys then. Adios.